Nothing. Fellow Nigerians, our country is going through one of its worst moments in history. The state of Nigeria requires all of us, regardless of where we are on earth, to come out of our comfort zones, to battle for our soul. Our country is under siege on all fronts. Our country has been taken over by janjaweeds that pretend to be leaders. The question is, how much can we take? How much more can we take? Here is a country where a citizen went into the hallowed chamber of the Senate and carted away the mace, the symbol of authority of the National Assembly, and was not punished. What type of example is that? Here is a country where the government allegedly spent 600 billion feeding students at home, students who were on lockdown, and nobody is raising a finger. How on earth do we have a country that cannot cater to its use? Hey, fellow Nigerians from within Nigeria and around the world, lovers of Nigeria and Africa. My name is Smart Mado Ajaja. I am the anchor of Nigeria Now at ONN and the Nightingale Radio International, broadcasting live every Saturday from Houston, Texas, United States of America. How are you all doing? Bob Marley said, "We've got so much things to say right now. Yeah, we've got so much things to say. Yeah, I'll never forget no way they crucified Jesus Christ. Hey, I'll never forget no way how they sold Marcus Garvey for rights. Then I'll never forget no way how they turned their backs on Paul Bogle." Yeah, that's what we are going through. Africa is on fire. You know, it looks like a prophecy is coming through, like what Bob Marley said. He said, "We Africans, we fight it necessary. As we know we shall win, then we are confident in the victory of good over evil." sum total of the Nigerian trajectory, our sad story. What can we do to end this nonsense? Crisis, a coup plot, successful coup in Niger. Coup in Niger, coup in Nigeria, coup in Mali, coup in Burkina Faso, all in West Africa. Now, which country is going to be next? Who is going to talk to someone? Who is supposed to be the leader of the West African sub-region with the power to look at people in their faces and they say yes, we will listen. The new military leader in Niger had just fired back to to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Hear him. He said, that's a General Abdurrahman Tiani, Niger's military leader, telling Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I'm not going to listen to you because you are an illegitimate president of Nigeria. Say it again. I will not listen to you because you are an illegitimate president of Nigeria. Make a talk for pidgin. Those who are not hear proper English, make we talk because English is not my mother tongue. Yeah. The man won't take over power for Niger. You know, Bola Tinubu, they make noise. He go African Union. All of a sudden, he overpower the people there again. They give him chairman of ECOWAS. The first thing when he talk, before he said anything, he doesn't even know how ECOWAS work. He's already issuing threats. One in African country. It looks like he forget. Nigeria is not the way it used to be. Nigeria has no economy. Nigeria has no strong democratic institution. Nigeria is actually not a democracy. So why is a pot calling kettle black? You are crazy. That's crap. Instead of, I don't want to validate him as president of Nigeria because he ain't my president. We don't recognize him. Majority of Nigerians don't recognize him as their president. He's a coup plotter. He went in there through suspending Nigeria's dysfunctional constitution to declare himself president. The following which he coronated himself. That was a coronation by witches and wizards, by thugs and cultists, and all kinds of corrupt and dangerous vipers and amphibians across Nigeria. Yes, this is what we get. You know, when you break your moral fabric, you can't be the same. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is would have been the last person to open his mouth, stinky mouth, to warn that we will not have coups after coups in West Africa. Who the hell are you to say that? You came to occupy, you're an occupation force. And then you want to tell those others, don't you know, when Nigeria violates any rule, the whole of Africa will start crumbling. And that is exactly what we want to avoid. Nigerians, here we are again. It's a little country like Niger. It's not throwing challenge at Nigeria because the wrong man is sitting on your seat of power. It's time. Move him. That is what we need now. So Nigeria the way it is. Nigeria has nothing. The military has been destabilized. No thanks to Buhari started it and Bola Ahmed destroyed it completely. Now we are seeing private militias like the one commanded by Asari Dokubo springing up. I tell you, in the coming weeks, you will see more militias from across Nigeria springing up. Nigeria will be worse than Somalia unless all of us stand up. Unless some of us who are so scared of speaking up now start speaking and start organizing to end this terrible page of our country's history. It is democratic. It's people's right for them to reject what they don't want. Yes. Yes. Thank you, General, whatever it is from Niger, Abdurrahman. Thank you for responding to him. He's an illegitimate president of Nigeria. We didn't vote for him. The president of Nigeria is waiting somewhere. And then he will be the president of Nigeria after all this craziness. So the members of the tribunals, I hope you are listening. So you have a duty to restore Nigeria's honor and dignity in Africa. It is your responsibility now. And if you are not able to do it, the people will have to do it by themselves. And then history will judge you so harshly. No foreign power should come to dictate to us how we will change what is not working for us, because theirs is working and we are not interfering in their system. If they so love us, they should support justice in Nigeria as it stands right now, and justice in the rest of Africa. I see a lot of mess in Niger right now, especially around that Chad basin. I see a lot of foreign military interest in there, driven by economics there. It is that thing in that Chad basin that they are looking for. It's not, they are not for Africa. The terrorism we are talking about, they sponsor terrorism so that this confusion will not end and Africa will be at peace to decide its own destiny. So the people of Africa, from everywhere, from east, west, north, and everywhere in Africa, it is time we should look inwardly to decide our destiny. We have suffered so much. We suffered slave trade, both transatlantic and trans-Sahara. 700 years of Arab slavery. Nearly 600 years of European slavery of Africa. Over 1,000 years of the exploitation of African resources. What time are we going to say no, that we have come of age and that we must graduate from their universities? Why are we always cap in hand going to meet them begging for what they stole from us? We have the resources that drive the whole world, but we have the poorest people. Yes. Is this a prophecy coming true? We Africans, we fight it. We find it necessary, but we know we shall win, and we are confident in your victory. Yes, that was the Emperor Haile Selassie. I believe those frontline leaders of Africa will be turning like 300 degrees per second in their various groups. I'm talking about Kwame Nkrumah. I'm talking about Emperor Haile Selassie. I'm talking about Abdel Nasser. I'm talking about Modibo Keita. I'm talking about Sekou Touré. I'm talking about Mwalimu. I'm talking about all of them. Jomo Kenyatta, those who fought for the independence of Africa before the second line of betrayers came. And then betrayal became our tradition. Look at where we are as a people. Our African Union Secretariat was built by China, built and bugged by China. We should be ashamed of ourselves. You know, I was talking about what is taking place in China, how they are raising little kids about 7 years old. They are training them, teaching them Hausa, teaching them Igbo, teaching them Yoruba and other African languages. That is strategic for the looming occupation of Africa. And we are here. Senate president is a criminal. President is a criminal. Deputy is a criminal. Everybody is a criminal. They are stealing our oil. Our military chiefs are criminals. How can we go forward like this? I hope this new guy in Niger, I hope he's purely driven by Pan-African instinct and not another criminal, working as a front for imperial powers operating in that region, because that's always been the case. Now, Nigerian, warning to you. You know, when it started in Sudan, And we thought it was going to be one day business. I am telling you once again, I am not trying to be a prophet, but I see what even the so-called prophets don't see. What is happening in Sudan right now is going to bet in Nigeria. Nigeria is actually the ultimate. So let's keep on joking. And this is the reason we must do something now about the logjam in Nigeria. If we don't fix Nigeria right now, the whole of Africa will crumble. This is not a joke. Do you imagine what will happen if Nigeria is eventually destabilized with over 250 million people? Let me tell you the immediate consequence. There will be no more Republic of Benin. There will be no more Niger will go. Chad will go from the northern flank. From the southern flank, there will be no Benin. There will be no Togo. There will be no Ghana. Even as far as up to Ivory Coast into Liberia, because those places will be flooded and they will be destabilized. That is nearly one half of Africa. So if you think this is a joke, if you are an African from anywhere who thinks that this is just a Nigerian problem, you better think again. But for the Nigerians who are living inside Nigeria, you need to wake up and do something. You know, when I talk, some of you will tell me, come home, come home, come home, come home and do what? It's the same thing that I'm doing now, that I'm doing, that I will be doing. There's nothing I'm saying right here that I've not said when I came home, the several times that I've come home. So come home will be, you are inviting me so that, because my voice is becoming so loud and people are beginning to take me seriously and they are listening and aligning with my message. Come home means to lock me up so that this voice will vanish. No, I'm a strategic thinker. I understand the way Nigeria works. I have been inside it 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, up into 2019. I was home. I was home. I was on the ground preaching this message. How many people followed me? How many people followed me? People were more interested in getting what they will eat right now against thinking about the future. Look at where we are right now. And not many people are still learning that there's something has to be done so we can secure our future and guarantee the future of our country and its people. No, we are still locked in this make I chop now. Some people will even still have the audacity to still want to ask you for money before they can organize and be responsible. That is why protests in Nigeria don't last long. And that is why we don't achieve anything. And the Nigerian elites are very corrupt. They understand this. So that is why when you say you are going to protest, they don't even do much. Or they roll out the tanks and they beat everybody back. So I am not going to come to Nigeria to put people who are unconscious on the streets of Nigeria. When you ask them, why are you here? They will be able to articulate the reason they are on the street. So my thing is, first, we have to make them conscious. We have to conscientize them. We have to make them understand that they have a stake in Nigeria. They are stakeholders in Nigeria. We have to make them understand that they have basic human rights and their rights to the citizenship of Nigeria. When they are armed with these rights, I believe that they will be able to move. But the greatest trouble, the greatest danger in Nigeria is what the elites have used to emasculate the people. Poverty, lack of access to opportunity. Over 103 million Nigerian youths are either jobless, unemployable, or underemployed. How can you move those people in an exodus without first making them understand? Even the process of making them understand is most challenging, but I bet that is the reason why people like us exist. So it is time for us to wake up and retake our country. If we don't do it, forget about America and Britain. They will say they have their own domestic problems. They are not going to come and help you do much more than they would do for their economic benefits. It's always like that. They will not give unless there is something to benefit. There's no Robin Hood anywhere on the surface of this earth. We are the ones at the battlefront. We must lead before others can help us. What are we doing to bring about this most deserved change? We got to do. We have to stand up for Nigeria. The moment couldn't have been better than now.
The time has come. The time has come to stand up for Nigeria. Stand up for Nigeria.
Stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand up for Nigeria. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand up for Nigeria. When you look around, tell me what you see. You see the people suffering. When you look around, tell me what you see. You see the people wandering. The rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. Killing and kidnapping. Too much corruption and inflation in our generation. Darkness and wickedness and unrighteousness. Where are we going to? Oh, stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand up for Nigeria. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand up, stand up for Nigeria. Stop killing one another. Stop fighting one another. We are one Nigeria. Open Nigeria. Wake up Nigeria. We are one Nigeria. Open your mind. Open your eyes. Please don't say your vote. Vote what is right. Vote for the light. Don't say your vote. Stand up, stand up, stand up.
So let me sing again.
Open Nigeria. Hey. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand up for Nigeria.
Stand up for Nigeria. We need free education and free medication. Equal right and justice. No more poverty, insecurity, terrorism and nepotism. Open Nigeria, wake up Nigeria. We are one people. Stop killing one another, stop fighting one another. We are one people. Stand up Nigeria, wake up Nigeria. Please don't say your vote. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand up for Nigeria.
Don't follow me sing.
Stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand up for Nigeria.
Stand up, stand up, stand up.
Stand up, stand up. Stand up for Nigeria. Stand up, stand
The
up.
time has
Yes. Stand up for Nigeria. Stand up for West Africa. Stand up for Africa. Purge all bad leaders. What makes coup possible? Why, Bola Tinubu thinks he has this power over that man said, I can't believe this. That a man who fraudulently elected himself, the people of Nigeria did not elect him. He wants to be the monarch of West Africa. He wants to be the Sultan of West Africa. He's now fighting anti-democratic elements in West Africa. Come on, Bola. Come on, Bola. You are not thinking. I don't know. Oh my God. Oh my God. What is this about Africa? What is this about Africa? What is this about? Oh my, I don't want to say too much, man. This is crazy. Who are his advisors? A criminal violently and fraudulently set Nigeria's constitution aside, declared himself president of Nigeria, and went ahead and swore himself in. He committed high treason, for which he should go to life jail term. And he's grandstanding anyway. That the Shakarama will know about Nigeria. Who is he to talk to Abdurrahmani? You know, our people say, Nigeria is not leading by example. So Nigeria has no right whatsoever, not this right this minute, with a leper sitting on his presidency. No right, absolutely, to challenge any African who changes government by suspending the constitution of his or her country. Nigeria must lead by example. And that is why Nigerians must unite to send Bola Tinubu and his gang of thieves out before they sink Nigeria. He is positioned to completely liquidate, destroy, and destabilize Nigeria, and by extension, the West African sub-region. So the people in West Africa, ECOWAS, you all must be ready, gear up for the worst. If you decide that it is not your business, you know the size of Nigeria, they will derail all of your countries. So for now, you are supposed to be working with those who truly want the good of Nigeria. For real. I know you are very small countries, you know, but Nigeria is not the way it used to be. Because when a leadership is not the type that is exemplary, everything about that country will become weak. We have some of the weakest institutions. Our democratic institutions are all weak. This man, within a stroke of two weeks, destroyed Nigeria's armed forces, retired over 130 generals. That Nigeria spent trillions of naira to train, send them into the labor market because he wanted to appoint 4 service chiefs. All right? 130. Bola Ahmed Tinubu has no faith in the Nigerian military. Bola Tinubu has no faith in the Nigeria's armed forces. That is why he is working with terrorists, namely Asari Dokubo. I'm sure there is a connection with Boko Haram. Yes, his vice president has been linked to Boko Haram. Nigeria, you are in trouble. This is not, I don't hate Bola Tinubu. I don't care. I have a right as a Nigerian to defend my country. I have a right as a Nigerian to expose the ills of my country. I have a right as a Nigerian to speak up when things are going wrong in Nigeria. And that is exactly what I am doing. I am not driven by any tribal or religious instincts. I'm driven by Nigeria's patriotic instinct. And that is why what I expect all those who truly and genuinely love Nigeria to do. Don't look at anybody's face because he's from one tribe. And we don't care what you worship as your God. But as long as you come in the name of Nigeria, you're standing with the banner of Nigeria, we have right. We have right to confront you. We have right to challenge you. And that is the reason I'm challenging Bola Tinubu. That is the reason why I am challenging El Rufai. That is the reason I'm challenging Abubakar Malami. That is the reason I'm challenging Motawale and all the rogues. That is the reason why I will challenge Akpabio. That is the reason why I will challenge Rochas Okorocha, Hope Uzodema, Kano, whatever it is called, all the crooks in Nigeria. We have right to confront them. If you think it is about your tribe, now I ask you, how well is your tribe doing? Tell me the hospital in your tribe that is working. Tell me how the economy of your tribe or your religion is doing. Tell me the state of the roads in your tribal land. Tell me how many times a day the poor person in your tribe is able to feed. Tell me, beyond this psychological feeling that your man is in power, tell me, one young man from Kano came out to ask a question. He said, people telling me, they say we have the president, what are they doing for us? Yes. Now he spoke for the first time and want people, young men like that, who are liberated from mental slavery, to come out and be speaking. The North is suffering. Poverty there is worse than anywhere in Nigeria. Even though the poverty has now taken over the whole of Nigeria. He made it very clear that those we think are leading them from the North, they're not doing any damn thing from that. They come in the name of the North. Still blackmail Nigeria, threaten Nigeria in the name of the North. But they give absolutely nothing to the peoples of the North, including the Hausa people. They are suffering. They are worse repressed than any other group. These are the people who instigate hate against a particular tribe in Nigeria because they are scared. They feel threatened that when these people or any person from that area who knows business and how to run things and make things prosper is given access to leading Nigeria, that person will make a difference that will make them look bad, and they will make Nigeria start looking back at history. That is the story. That is why they don't want an Igbo man to be president of Nigeria. Yes, even if he won an election as a Nigerian citizen, not as an Igbo man, they stand in the way. And you think Nigeria will move forward? Nigeria can move forward, not with Tinubu, the like of Tinubu in power. You see, Nigeria cannot and will not move forward with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, no matter how much he will try to force it. And the power of the bloody forces behind them, at best, he will crash the country and worsen its precarious security situation and destabilize the entire ECOWAS sub-region that is already showing serious signs of stress from the war in Sudan and the instabilities in Mali, Niger, and Chad. Now, who knows the next that will come online? Yes, there is tension in the land. There is turmoil in the land. Why? Because we veered away from the path of the truth to start choosing criminals, rogues, drug dealers, killers, terrorists as our leaders, and we celebrate them. This is where we are.
And one day, some great opportunity stands before you and calls upon you to stand up for some great principle, some great issue, some great cause. And you refuse to do it because you are afraid. You refuse to do it because you want to live longer. You're afraid that you will lose your job, or you're afraid that you will be criticized, or that you will lose your popularity. Are you afraid that somebody will stab you or shoot at you or bomb your house? And so you refuse to take the stand. Well, you may go on and live until you are 90, but you're just as dead at 38 as you would be at 90. And the cessation of breathing in your life is but the belated announcement of an earlier death of the spirit. You died when you refused to stand up for right. You died when you refused to stand up for truth. You died when you refused to stand up for justice.
Legendary Martin Luther King Jr. He said, "You died when you refused to stand for right. You died when you refused to stand for truth. And you died when you refused to stand for justice." Where do you stand in this struggle? Where do you stand in the battle for the liberation of Nigeria? And by extension, Africa. By extension, Africa.
Okun Nigeria, Okun Nigeria, Okun Nigeria, Okun Nigeria, fún lọ síwájú Nàìjíríà, Okun Nigeria, kádìbò fẹ́ni tó tọ́, Okun Nigeria, ẹni tó tọ́ tó lè bá wa ṣe, Okun Nigeria, òsì náà kó lè dohun ìtàn, Okun Nigeria, Smart Ajaja ń gbìyànjú o, Okun Nigeria, kí gbogbo wa ó gbé lárugẹ, Okun Nigeria, Okun Nigeria, Okun Nigeria, Okun Nigeria, Okun Nigeria. Ká má wo tiwa, ká má wo tẹ̀yà o. Okun Nàìjíríà. Ká má wo tẹ̀sìn, ká má wo tẹ̀lẹ́yàmẹ̀yà o. Okun Nàìjíríà. Ẹ dìbò ẹ ti bẹ̀ kó dópin. Okun Nàìjíríà. Nàìjíríà yóò ṣe dìde o.
Major candidates in the elections are already complaining, and we had one say the other week that you don't have the capability to transmit the votes once they are voted, to transmit the results electronically.
Well, I don't
to
know
a national
who
database.
I don't know who said so, but look at what we have done. We did the pilot in August 2020 at Nasarawa State in central Nigeria when we conducted a by-election in state constituency. And since then, we piloted the transmission of results in 105 constituencies nationwide, including major governorship elections. We did it in Anambra, we did it in Ekiti and Oshun. We also did it in the Federal Capital Territory. Now, some of them may be small elections in the Nigerian context, but the state with the least number of registered voters in places where we transmitted election results is Ekiti. But Ekiti has more registered voters than Gambia and Cape Verde put together. So we are happy with the pilot that we have conducted, and we are reasonably confident in the strength of the processes.
I mean, even in rural areas.
The machine on election day doesn't rely on the internet to accredit voters. It works offline. Now, when it comes to transmission of results, that's why you need network. But if there is no network in the immediate vicinity, the scanned image of the polling unit level results, which is taken using the beavers, will be transmitted as soon as the staff move from the polling units to the collation centers. And we have been working with the major telecom companies in Nigeria, and we are satisfied that the number of blind spots can be addressed in the country, and the number of blind spots where you have no network is really small.
Mahmoud Yakubu. And so what happened? You made all these lofty promises. But what happened? Where is the result of the 2023 general election? Who is the president of Nigeria? What process led to the declaration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president of Nigeria? You set aside the Electoral Act. You did not follow the rules, your own rules. And you declared a drug dealer a rogue who did not win an election, president of Nigeria. And you expect the country to be calm, peaceful, and everybody will be happy. Great job.
In the Electoral Act that we passed, there is nothing like electronic transmission, because transmission is when you vote and it goes to the server. What we have passed, and I can recollect this vividly, because I read that act when it was a bill several times, is to transfer, after all the paperwork that we normally do are done, the agents and everybody there, security, everybody will have the papers. INEC will snap or scan or snap the result sheet and transmit or transfer or whatever it is. That whether it is transmit or transfer is that thing that is captured with beavers. The results. And for me, my understanding is if any result that was captured and sent differs from something gotten somewhere, that one is illegal. And only the courts, it's not us here that can do. So we urge INEC to follow the Electoral Act. And for me, my understanding is if any result that was captured and sent differs from something gotten somewhere, that one is illegal. And only the courts, it's not us here that can do. So we urge INEC to follow the Electoral Act and other laws or their guidelines. That's all.
And now Nigerians are left at the mercy of a court system that is populated by sellers of justice. How will it go? Can they do what the Kenyans did in 2017? Yeah.
Thank you. The presidential election held on 8th August 2017 was not conducted in accordance with the Constitution and the applicable law, rendering the declared results invalid, null, and void.
This indeed is a very historic day for the people of Kenya, and by extension, for the people of the continent of Africa.
Yes, we hear, though sadly, that this judge is retired now, and Kenya has slipped back into the typical African corrupt tradition with the current president, who speaks so good, so eloquent, to the world about his vision for Africa, but he's doing horrible things in Kenya. Africa, we got to unite. We got to do something differently in order to get a different positive result. Look at the type of leaders we have.
11:15 a.m. Suddenly, there is noise at the entrance of a Senate chamber, taking lawmakers by surprise. As lawmakers try to understand the cause of the noise, some unidentified men and Senator Ovie Omagegi walk into the Senate chamber. What happens next disrupts proceedings. Pandemonium. Sergeants at arms at the National Assembly wrestle with the unidentified men for the maize. They overpower the security men and dash out of the National Assembly with the maize.
And when it was over, the maize was gone. And guess who was responsible? He was later rewarded with the high-profile position of Deputy Senate President. How can we get justice from people like that? And he was to be appointed later as the chairman of the Constitution Review Committee. You see the trajectory, you see how Nigeria is stuck. So with this type of people in power, at the helms of everything, how would Nigeria move forward? How would Nigeria be that example that General Abdul Rame of Niger will respect? Nigeria is stinkingly filthy. We need a new sense of direction. We need men of, high degree of righteousness as leaders of Nigeria at all levels. So Africa can start resting in peace and start thinking about how to better the lot of its over 1.4 billion people. especially especially of youths, Africa's young population, underutilized population. 70% of it is made up of young people who grew up into abject poverty, who have never seen anything positive about government, who have been made so vulnerable to slavery in their own land, whose resources are being stolen by a combination of the Arabs, the Europeans, and now Chinese, who come back and give us pittance in aids, which make them look like they are doing us great favor from what they stole from us. So where are our scientists? Underutilized. Where are our economists? Underutilized because they are never given the opportunity to express themselves. Where are our engineers? Chinese engineers come to Africa to build roads. They bring their employees from China, while the Africans are left with absolutely nothing. The same thing the Arabs are doing. We now are more Arabs and more Europeans than the Africans that we are. Maybe in the next 20 years, we'll become Chinese. Africa and Africans have become schizophrenics that are so distant from reality. We can't continue this way. We definitely can't continue this way. And this is how we got where we are. And this is the ditch we must escape from, so we can be humans and so the world can respect us.
Do you want to know what is a scam? A scam is having the Bible translated into Swahili, Yoruba, Igbo, Zulu, and every other African language, but having 0 scientific books translated into a single African language. That is a conspiracy, that is a trap, and that's a scam. Someone who can be scammed with the same trick over and over again for decades upon decades is considered a fool, and their gullibility and lack of critical thinking make them willing participants in their own destruction. I have walked into different libraries, and I have seen university science books translated into Chinese, Russian, Portuguese, Arabic, and so forth. I have seen Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill translated into French. I have seen the Japanese version of A Man's Search for Meaning. I have seen the Spanish version of Alchemist. I have seen the Arabic version of The Art of War. All these books, I have seen them in various languages, but none in any African language. An African child is sent to Arabic school just to learn Arabic, so that he can read the word of her supposed creator, while the Arab prays and learn in their own language. African child learns and pray in other languages. You will find churches in Africa where the English became preacher would have a native translator next to them doing the translation. Here's where the scam comes. And you will never find a school in Africa where the teacher will have a translator next to them to translate chemistry, physics, mathematics, geography, economics to the students. I have seen many science books translate into various languages, but none in any African language. The Chinese are taught mathematics in Chinese. The Japanese are taught engineering in Japanese. They are all taught finance, chemistry, astrophysics, accounting, medicine, geology, government in their languages. The only book that Africans have had in their languages is the Bible and Quran. The only time Africans have something translated them to in their language is in a church and mosque. The black African wretched of the earth is the only member of the human race who has been brainwashed to think that his ancestors bequeathed him with a curse that has prevented him from attaining his goal and desires. Almost every misfortune he encounters on earth is the fault of some ancestors who must be bound and cast in the fire of the Holy Ghost. The white people don't have terrible ancestors. The Arab that enslaved Africans for 700 years don't have wicked ancestors. No member of humans race has wicked ancestors who have done terrible things. No, it's only the black Africans. Black Africans are the only member of human race that will sit down, write a movie script to mock or belittle his or her heritage, In Western world, Xmas is the biggest festival. Christmas stemmed from both the Roman paganism and Roman cultures. The biggest festival in Arab world is Eid al-Fitr. The biggest festival in Israel is Pesach. The biggest festival in China is Spring Festival. Festival of Light is the biggest festival in India. Black people are probably the only human species on planet Earth that helps other races celebrate their own festivals, but nobody celebrates theirs with them. They generally believe their own ways are inferior. Therefore, it's hard for them to evolve the beautiful things their ancestors left. He belittled the ancestors who gave him life. The continent is the only continent where Christianity and Islam concept of a God is shared equally. Even though both preach peace and love, yet there is no peace and love. When an African man is not praying to a foreign god, he will be treating himself in a foreign hospital, or visiting another man's country for religious purposes, or praying to his own creator in Arabic. He calls another man's history holy book, just because they told him to ask him, what is holy about the book? It's an abomination for him to see the world through his own culture. Slaves weren't allowed to do that. He steals money from his land to keep in a foreign land. His God and his country was created for him. No wonder nobody respects him. The black man is roaming around the world like a tortoise without a shell. He has no backbone, zero identity. No one respects him. He is lynched in Malaysia, incarcerated in Cambodia. He is shot like a dog in the streets of America. Not until we all free our minds from mental slavery, we will be wretched of the world. Welcome to Clarity Revolution. Subscribe to our YouTube for more longer content. For thinkers alone.
One more thing. Let's get together to fight this holy Armageddon. One love. So when the man comes, there will be no doom. One song. Have pity on those whose chances grow thin. There ain't no hiding place from the Father of creation. Saying, one love. What about the
Yes, this is Smart Mado Ajaja, the anchor of Nigeria Now at ONN and the Nightingale Radio International. We speak it exactly the way we see it. We don't fake it. We don't make it look nice when it is bad. The truth is this, that we can do a lot better than sitting idle as just less than 1% of our country is destroying it. They have no rights to do so. We have every right to stand up to them. And I think now is the time, and this is what we must do right now. Stand up to them, because they have no right to destroy our country under any guise. No, absolutely no right. So, people, Nigerians, we are in danger right now, serious danger. You may not be able to appreciate it, for whatever reason, but, because we have conditioned ourselves, to making adjustment, even as things get worse and worse, our backs are on the wall. I bet Nigerians are actually inside the wall right now, because we always have this way of trying to, postpone the devil's day. But the greatest threat is right at our doorsteps. They're going to force you out of your walls and slaughter you and take everything away from you. So we have a duty. We are the owners of Nigeria. So why are we running? How long are we going to continue to run? Get up and stand up and let us end this ambush. It's been such a great pleasure, having to spend this nearly 1 hour with you today. And I look forward to seeing you guys next Saturday, same time and same station. We thank all our fans and well-wishers and those who follow our work across the platform. We thank you for the great job you are doing, especially sharing our messages. And we're beginning to see the effects of your great support out there. We are being well recommended now, and our message is expanding, and our views are really increasing. And then don't rest, because we exist for nothing but the good of Nigeria. We are not looking for people to give us money, but if you support, if you agree, like you want to support what we do, out of your free volition, you can do so. You can call me +1 83240768282. And additionally, we have just rolled out our broadcast website that is Nigeria Now, and the website is OpenNigeriaNow at OpenNigeriaNow.com. And from there, actually, you can go directly to listen to us on radio and see this live broadcast on YouTube that we are doing. So we have been working. That is why sometimes you don't hear noises from us. We are doing a lot, connecting with a lot of people in Nigeria and those who can give us some technical advices and support. It's been such a wonderful moment. We are not there yet, but we are progressing, and with your support, we can be that alternative to the corrupt Nigeria's mainstream media that has been muzzled, because of the involvement of the owners in the conspiracy to hold Nigeria down. We are for you, the ordinary people, and that is exactly what we represent. So please, always, join us, share our messages. Any message that you see that that resonates with your thoughts, just go ahead and share it with another Nigerian out there. You may be saving a life. And for other Africans, the same thing applies to you. The story that we are broadcasting is the story of the African man, the black man, everywhere on the surface of the earth, always being beaten down, stuff like that. No, we have to raise our consciousness and then unite. Unity is just what it is, and that's what Bob Marley preached all his life. So we can end this ambush in the night and then put an end to the pressure that our countries are going through and our people. So we can be the free people, the very first people that God made. We are the first, but people don't understand. Every person, including the white man, the Arab man, is an of the Chinese, an offshoot of the black race. So they know it. Scientifically, it has been proven. So we are the original people. So why are we dwindling? Why are we allowing ourselves to be played like a soccer ball? It's time. Let's end this pressure.
Under pressure, black people under pressure. Under pressure, Nigerians under pressure. Under pressure, Africans under pressure. No food, be we belly. No money in our pocket. No bed, feel like we hate. The people, they must suffer. In a ghetto, in a city, everywhere that me go, me see them. Some are cry, some are die, some are weeping, some are wailing. Everywhere that me go, under pressure we well, under pressure. Under pressure, everybody under pressure. Under pressure, black and white, under pressure. Under pressure, Europeans under pressure. Can't get no food if you go feel we belly. Philippine, you too, no have no mother. Philippine, you too, no have no father. Philippine, you too, no have no brother. Philippine, you too, no have no sister. I'm a kimono, me just start chatting to you. Chanta this I want me now go chat it all day. Hey, under pressure we well, under pressure. Under pressure Europeans, under pressure. Under pressure Africans, under pressure. Under pressure Nigerians, under pressure.